Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. This guy right here is Evil Mike, or Mike if you prefer, and I got a review for you today. From Marvel Comics, we're going to be talking about Deadpool issue number 2. It is written by Alyssa Wong, art by Martin Coccolo, colors by Neeraj, Menon, and letters by VC's Joe Sabino. Sorry if I mispronounce any of those names. It's no disrespect. I'm trying to pronounce mine. Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe on this guy's channel. Hit the bell if you like my reviews, want to hear some more. I don't have a schedule to my reviews. They just drop when they drop. Alright, so Deadpool. To break it down, Deadpool is auditioning for this elite assassins group called the Atelier. I don't really know how to pronounce it. It's Atelier, Atelier. But it's a group of superpowered assassins, and he's trying to join. They gave him one task, and he has to kill Doc Ock. Right before he was going to kill Doc Ock, he was kidnapped by Harriet Brooms, aka the Horror. She infected Deadpool with a piece of Carnage that kind of died off, and she's trying to bring him back to life. So it's not Carnage, it's just a piece of him. And after he got the the Carnage inside him, and Carnage started coming out of his body. With that happening, Deadpool ended up making it to where he's supposed to eliminate Doc Ock, and that's kind of where we cut off on the first issue. So the second issue picks up right where the first one leaves off, and Deadpool has Carnage coming out of him. You can see the two arms, and there will be more, but basically he has the two arms. He's trying to, because he was awake during all this, so he knows it's a piece of, a symbiote and a Carnage, but still he's like, why is it so wet, and what's with these two arms? And it's kind of ironic, but he gets the Carnage arm, fist bumps the Deadpool arm, and he's like, oh hell yeah, it's on now. And basically he gets with the task at hand. He's supposed to be killing Doc Ock. Harrower is there in the background. She's just basically there to collect Deadpool. She's trying to keep the Carnage symbiote alive, and as an experiment. We don't know what the experiment is. Basically, she's trying to make another Carnage, supposedly, is what it sounds like. So basically, Deadpool and Doc Ock go at it. Deadpool mentions a bunch of different things, like as you can see right here, Carnage is literally trying to come out of him. He kind of mentions that it's like if a snack was trying to eat him and smile back at him as it's going down. For the most part, it's back and forth. Deadpool never gets any real shots in on Doc Ock, but basically, he's in the fight. But as he's fighting, you can see Harrower's throwing these plant monster creature things at Deadpool, trying to help Doc Ock. It's kind of weird at first because she kind of states in the beginning that she doesn't care about Doc Ock or really Deadpool. She just wants him alive to get the the symbiote. But she starts helping Doc Ock. Basically, they start tag teaming him, and while this is happening, Carnage continues to come out of him. At this time, it's another arm that's coming out of his mouth. At this point, some of the funnier part of the comic, because Deadpool's still trying to talk with the Carnage arm coming out of his mouth. But he still uses the arm. This is actually where he does more of the damage to the Horror and Doc Ock, because now he has 5 arms and 2 legs. But he quickly remembers that Carnage can use that he turns his limbs into blades. At one point, Harrower, as you can see, she used a bunch of vines to make this big old Hulk arm, and she was going to knock Deadpool out, and he's able to slice the Hulk arm off of her. But eventually, it gets to the point where Doc Ock and Harrower are getting the upper hand. You can see right here, like Harrower rips that arm that comes out of his mouth off. Deadpool can talk again, which is a plus. As soon as they are about to knock out or take out or whatever have you, Deadpool, we get another intercepted part of the story. Lady Deathstrike shows up, and she ends up like claw scratches the hell out of Doc Ock's back before she continued to assassinate Doc Ock, because that's what she's trying to do. Doc Ock quickly flings her off and tries to like snap at her with a different arm. This is kind of where, because she kind of flips off and gets over with Deadpool, and we kind of find out that she's been a part of the story all along. Deadpool just kind of left her, and then the stuff happened with Deadpool. We find out really quick that they were actually on a tag team assassination mission, so both of them can get admitted into the Altair assassin group. You can actually see the Altair assassin group, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. The guy in the back is called the Horned Emperor. I think he's the boss of them. They are brand new to me, so if they are like an X-Men thing or whatever that's already existed, and let me know down below. Basically this story kind of gets derailed with this one member of the Assassins group, and that's kind of why Deadpool is really trying to join the Assassin group, but it's Valentine Wong. It goes into detail about how like Deadpool left Lady Deathstrike out to dry. Because basically he took off. There's all these like messages back and forth about how like she has a plan, and he's kind of being Deadpool, like, yeah, okay, yay, and a bunch of emojis and stuff. Eventually you get to the point where she's calling him and he doesn't pick up, and he quickly like tries to explain to Lady Deathstrike that he did remember that they were like a team kind of, and then he got kidnapped by the Harrower, and she don't want to hear all that, but basically they are still in the team together, so eventually it's 2-on-2 fight, and it's basically like Deathstrike versus Doc Ock, and then Deadpool versus Harrower. Eventually Deadpool gets kind of taken out the mix for a moment, and then they kind of latch on to Lady Deathstrike. They kind of do this whole like tag teaming thing where Harrower uses her vines to strengthen Doc Ock's arms. And they kind of get the better of both of them. Eventually Deadpool's like, screw this. He feels like Carnage is going to take over like anytime soon, so in his like brilliant thinking, he thinks he can just cut off the limbs to slow down the process. He eventually does, and as soon as he does, he kind of just jumps out of the window, and he's like, bye, I'll see you later, I gotta get the hell out of here. Destro, Doc Ock's all yours, hope you get in. And he takes off. The next thing we see is like, besides Lady Deathstrike screaming at Deadpool, like, what are you doing? The next thing we see is Wong's apartment, Valentine Wong, and Deadpool showing up, claiming she must feel like a heart attack because he's having one, and then he plops down and kind of faints in a pool of blood. There is like a brief moment with the Harrower and Doc Ock, because it seems Lady Deathstrike has fled, and basically they're like, so you're doing this experiment, right? And she's like, yeah. And basically Harrower's like, how about we work together? You could get your revenge on Deadpool, for I guess trying to attack him here. And then she can collect her experiment. They do agree and start working together. We do get to see Lady Deathstrike licking her wounds, and basically like now it's a three-way thing going after Deadpool, because she basically said if he failed the audition that she was going to use everything that she had to come after Deadpool and kill him. We see that Valentine Wong it looks like she is healing Deadpool, like fixing him up and stuff like that. We get this one splash page of like Carnage and Shadow and Deadpool and Wong on the table here, in the kitchen table. We do get to see that Wong has these weird like you know, it looks like medical powers, like a needle and a knife or whatever. Um, but it basically has this one thing where it's, you know, it kind of looks like Wong is kind of sinister. We also get this like this like info page from the Altair, and it's basically two messages saying that, you know, it's a group message, and Valentine's reading, and it basically, the deadline has passed. You know, Wade Wilson and Yuriko Hama, Lady Deathstrike, have failed the audition, and that they are basically not to be spoken to, helped, blah 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 blah. She messages the Emperor back, the Horned Emperor, and she's basically like, oh, you know, I haven't seen Deadpool since, you know, he was at the board meeting with the audition thing, and if I do see him, I won't help him. You know, I follow your judgment, Mr. Emperor, and that's basically where this book leaves off. There's no, like, you know, cover image or anything to the next book. That's basically it. My final thoughts on this book, you know, what can I say? I love the art, and this one was a little more solid than I would say the first one. The first one was great. I want to say there was like one page or whatever that was kind of weird. But this one we're getting a little more of the story. I want to say the humor for me was more in the second issue than it was the first one. There was a lot of times I was like, you know, kind of small chuckles and stuff like that. But this one felt a lot more like a Deadpool, you know, comic or adventure or something like that. But now we're going to have this three-way, you know, thing going after Deadpool. It looks like, you know, Valentine's not such a good person. I'm kind of interested on why Deadpool's trying, you know, he's a part of the X-Men now and a part of the Coccolo group. Why is he still trying to be an assassin when that's not allowed with the X-Men kind of thing? I don't know. Fill me in if you're a huge X-Men fan and you know about Deadpool down below, because I'm drawing a blank on that one. It doesn't make any sense to me. As far as I know, the last he was like an anti-hero or something like that. But hey, that's my review. Looking forward to Deadpool issue 3. Let me know down below on your thoughts. Are you digging this? Are you not digging it? You know, let me know. That's all I got for you. I got some more reviews coming. Be on the lookout for that. No schedule, but I do have some coming. Alright guys, I hope you have the best one. We got new comic book day coming tomorrow. I hope everybody's got the list ready. There's a bunch of stuff coming. It's a big week. Alright guys, I'll see y'all later. Bye.